Hello. Today is Saturday, the 11th March, after 6 a.m., 6:15 in London, Cricklewood. And the word of the week is voice. Every second week of every month, it talks about try to get what's within. As part of a sequence that's to study from all sides. First week is just like a vibration, the vibe. So we can distinguish, right? The mind needs to distinguish this. And in role play, you need to distinguish this, especially in real life. I guess virtual reality in a fantasy world is too much to ask, right? I am here trying to get paid for my work. That is not the metaverse, it's the multiverse. I sent it to Bill Gates, and after 4 months, he was there with the guy of Facebook and just put my work in function. But that was only part of a test. It was not all the work. Another person has put me in between. I don't want to be, he wants to have a lot of people around him and be in this internet thing because it's his generation. Nothing to do with that at all. So I'm hostage in this situation. They've taken my children. They don't want to pay my work. They don't trust me. Is what happens when people start to put themselves in jails, no matter how much money they have on security they pay. They start to have these dysfunctional disassociations with reality. So they just live in their own. Next week I will be talking about walls, and that's which is around. The third week is that which covers and composes the Constitution. It's not just covers because it defends it, and manifests its vision, visual, from culture to culture, from religion to religion, from language to language. So we might all have two legs and have a brain, and here you go, but there you go. So the voice is sounding from the inside of this guitar and from of this. You could call it paraphernalia as well if you get more instrumental. So when I said that you're going to suffer, is not because I'm a sadist and I would love to see you suffer. Of course, it would be funny. Considering that I have studied torture machines and all sorts of stimulants to get you there. So, in a fantasy fabric of reality, right? Which is not real, it's virtual reality. It's not real. In the real world, we believe in every attachment that has formed us, and it causes us pain. It causes us tremendous fear to feel this pain if we get disattached from every association we think to believe we are. So we get stuck in that jail forever until you die, because that's how people are. The average person that would be just maybe just you and I are like that, right? Yeah, right. So, for example, it is very dangerous to be with a person like me because you might die in the process of just getting close to me, you know? It's very dangerous. You might die, you might have an accident, you might get electrified because you don't have the potential to carry all this energy. Mm. You might hide, you might try again because of the attraction, you may think that you're in love, but no, because I'm crazy. You may think, oh, for absolute power, world domination, because I am your friend, and and think I am not, and get up again, and you will be fighting all your ego and all your attachments, right? And I have nothing to do with your problems, really. This is just something I made up, you know. Those things would never happen to you, right? That's why you're listening to me right now. So, this is in my private. I've been trying to deal with this for 2 years and 4 months. I'm being hacked. I've been more than an year trying to get with it, and I'm very frustrated. So, I can talk however I want. And this is not the way people should relate. But considering that could be funny, yeah, that is another trigger. Meanwhile, people are just, killing each other, wanting war. Probably they already made uh, pacts for peace, but they already had orchestrated to make all this theater of war and preparation, then get to a level of negotiation. So it's not so sudden, yeah, to allow other people talk. Why? Because they have to enter into the realm of democracy. Democracy. Did you really talk about the pipes? Because, yeah, people are really going to buy that story. Yeah, Ukrainians did that. Yeah, right. Ukrainians. Even Venezuelans could do that. Ukrainians. Because, I mean, many Venezuelans are, up to no good because they have a lot of cocaine and a lot of, that's the Wild West. Yeah. So it's every day you have to keep with your eye open day and night when you sleep, even if you're not a criminal, because you have to be aware of criminals. You have to think as a criminal to be aware of who is who, and people are always trying to, sooner or later, because it could be a preparation just for that all the time. So they are saying so, or for that. And when you see how people don't have their voice, not just suppressed by ignorant, I would say, century, because what, they don't have royalty in Russia and these countries who used to be Russian. So when you don't have monarchy, what happens with the monarchy? The When you have reverence towards your father and mother, yeah, and this is not in the structure of psychology, but in our Father, a prayer. If you don't respect your mother and father, you don't know who you are. You're running away from yourself, and you don't have to forgive them because they did everything for you that they could. They did the best they could. Just to understand that is good enough. The same happens when you have royalty, monarchy, or any sort of authority that is comes from an history and lineage of spiritual an artistic devotion that is regal. You might have the best thieves as well. Yeah, so thieves have to be very spiritual because, I mean, I'm not talking thieves like you because you are pathetic and abnormal. This thing should never happen, all right? This is an anomality that is going on. Everyone knows you did it. Everyone knows you're a liar, pathological, white, flat asshole who has put all this gas and oil in the North Line. Everybody knows that. No, I mean, it's like, who needs the evidence? Like, why bother? Like, they really want to know about that story again? Anyone's not going to do whatever they want, right? They just want us to buy it because they need us. So let's just put that everyone is equally fucked up, right? Russians, Americans, Venezuelans. It's a shame to be Venezuelan, basically, nowadays. Before, also, they were corrupted. They wouldn't build anything. I don't know what's better, but sometimes you need polarities and extremes because you are crossing over too much, don't you think so? And this is why we need to understand what is the vibration, what is within, what is the structure that covers and forms that construct, and what is the scenario, because it has nothing to do one from another. Could be part of it, could not. Not just for a script write. When you have a script write, not as a script writer or as an actor, but as a role player. Why? Because you have to think, honey. You have to think by yourself now. You have to think about your own script. You have to see everyone's stories. Yeah? And you're not going to copy my work and get away and talking from the metaverse because you're just only a video game with we. That's it. That's all you are. As many video games there could be. So the metaverse, oh, because your friend is Bill Gates. Well, look, I sent it to Bill Gates, you know? He paid you money for the organization that you made from my idea that I have sent you. Yeah. So big deal. Big deal. Big deal. Meanwhile, I don't have money to eat because I invested everything in what I believe. A little bit of perfume. So this is a mala from Osho. This is a mala from Osho. In the Catholic, we have the rosary, and we have these prayers that is called El Ave Maria. How would you call it in your religions? The Buddhists have this as well. The Hindus have this as well, and it comes and the Jews, like, look, whatever, right? So what I mean is that what you see here in the yoga, in the gyms, that's just like cake the fake, just fake meditation, like McDonald's food. It's not, it's something you eat, it's cool, yeah, it looks cool, it's everybody else exists. It's just it's not. So the yoga in the gym is like a fake meditation. That is not real meditation, all right? What I mean by this is that meditations are exercises who help you transit within your mind, the silence, and not just the vibrations and the sounds, and where the strings of memory and information come from, how it relates, and also is very in touch with the body. Why? Because the brain is not just the body, is also an instrument. So each beat of this is a meditation, a different meditation. There are many 121, I don't remember the number, meditations with different exercises. Then you can go and sit down in silence. In satsang. So the master saints love to hit their disciples in the old times. I think now they will go to jail, but that was just so they wake up, so they don't ask stupid questions, so they don't disturb the silence that is being built up. Why? Because it takes a lot of effort to create an energy field. Gibberish is also meditation. But then you sit in silence. It's better to not talk nonsense, because the level of reason in the mind is lower. Than if you're speaking a language that you don't know what you're talking about. So you're going to a higher form of expression, which imagination enters a little bit more fluently as well. And you get some strings there. So, you know, things like that. I have to create my own scenario because I lack budget. So I have to put voices there, like if there are birds around and a lion is about to hunt. Oh. And the hyenas are just sneaking and snooping there and trying to hack something there so they can copy it. And I get some extra food, go out there like in groups. You know, as much as you love lions, then all that love converts into the power of hatefulness for hyenas. You cannot just love. Yeah? Christians love to evangelize and convert. Well, just let's convert back to the lion right here. I have to deal with all of this. Hacking. I don't have my money. I don't have my children. And that's very out of the law. It is illegal to be hacking. I have sent this work with half kilo of paper and files, with empty files, to Bill Gates in Seattle to a PO box. Just for funds. Just Google it down and send it. It's not a big deal. I don't know him. He doesn't know me. And whatever. Seems I speak a lot, but I know a lot more that I don't speak. And in role play as well. In role play, in 19 years, because there are a lot of stories that people try everything to have you in their stories, right? Just so you mention them. Many people thought I was a hacker. And I was just listen to the story. Listen to the story. The sound of the story. Sound of the story. Yeah, it's not just telling the story because it's transgenerational, because it has this trauma for all this, and he still believes this trauma exists when it doesn't, and it's like, this has nothing to do with the story that's going on. Hello? Yes? sounds a little off sound, but yes. So this story, yeah, it's an original story, but is because suddenly it's like there's been so many stories, like really, like after story after story after story, on many realms at the same time too. Through many characters, because they cannot glitter people or spam them with your stories from the same characters. So you make more characters. So these people develop their own, and they want that perfect story, so they don't produce good stories. Mine might have mistakes, but they're the best stories. Why? Because I don't stop on criticizing myself or pretending to catch a better word. Yeah, sometimes picking up, studying these words, getting very strict with a sound of a word I'm looking for, but it's not that word. Yeah. So, because sometimes you are being pulled by strings, but from somewhere that's the word that's gonna get you out of this story, right? Because it rings to it. It rings. It rings. It makes a ring that can get contagious. You don't know why. That's why it gets contagious. Otherwise, you wouldn't get contagious, right? You don't want to get contagious. Whatever makes you happy or is a virus, you want to be in control, to know what's what, right? You want adventure, you want excitement, you want to control, you want to be in your little kingdom there and think that you have the power over others. You're going to suffer so much. Because it's like, no, now they're doing this. Now they're going to copy me. I'm going to copy them too. And then one of us is going to die then. Well, yeah, of course. If you don't band together, if you don't stop doing old style cookies, that is just too much money, too much storage, information. You don't need to know so much about people. Of course, it has to be stored somewhere. People need to know what is this, what is that, what is this for, till it gets gradually accepted. But the main companies of the world, there are just not more than 5. Just like that. Yeah? If Huawei is there, cool. What happens is that you have to understand that you don't need too many heads, right? You don't need too many people to understand this world needs to start functioning right now. I mean for technological advance, anyone can copy and get to that level. And I think on the other side, if the rest of the world disconnects from Europe and United States and Canada, NATO, the world could advance better without NATO. They just should close everything, all the borders, and start to fusion together. Russia, Asia. I mean, what is Philippines and Japan gonna do? This little 2 island. Why bother about it? Eventually, they will realize that it's just because of movies, Netflix. Because Americans talk like they are the new world. It was a phenomenon. It was an experiment that went wrong. America, it went wrong. It went. They believe their own lies. They're still walking in the moon that they film, and they're still projecting So the world is splitting more and more. You will see they will keep shaking hands and saying yeah for business, yeah United Nations. But if you keep these wars, they're gonna say fuck off. They're gonna take it all to their side. All right. And South America is always gonna be South America, no matter how many business you have there or not. This is, you like it or not. I just bring a very fast interpretation like this, so I don't have to explain it all right? Because I don't want to get into that. Yeah, I'm actually against that attitude. That's why I came here. Yeah, why I came here. So you know what, yeah, maybe I'm a narcissist, but what if I'm the right person to stop this bullshit war? Besides, the metaverse was written for the fantasy world, not for this marketing things that the metaverse has done, right? So they have corrupted the principles, and I'm not going to talk about it, because then for me to unite the influencer, that was my idea as well. All thousands, millions ideas coming from this source, from this core. But thanks to all these narcissists. Well, actually, we need empathy in this world. People who can start to role play and not in a video game. So I'm not going to talk like this. So maybe the white world needs to end. And maybe it needs to end, because I don't want to be talking like this. I never studied to be an actress. I never married a man to support me and be an idiot there, being with someone who doesn't care about, just wants me to be part of his. Yeah. So no, I want to be part of my work. I love my work. I've been doing myself all my life. So why should I be giving my work or credit to anyone, especially being white males? Because let's be honest, you're all white males. And the white woman who supports them, maybe some other one, but just got there in the white world. That's it. I got some Chinese because I sent letters there. Science and technology, the embassy of China here in London. So they're going very fast. Chinese people. They already started their program. They might get the tax program before the British too, because there is no synergy. It doesn't matter as long as they do it. Yeah, they can copy and do it faster. The one for the taxes of the government. Yeah, I wanted to give my work in the private. Open source, open source. I don't have money or my children. I am not crazy. Healthy. I don't drink. I don't take drugs. I don't need to. I can go as any person, anywhere. This is a new dawn and new day. And I can't wait to get out of here. My astrology says to keep it on because I work so hard. And I'm like, God, it's just it was the Saturn planet. I have worked so hard that I feel I want to go, but that is not in the what transit what's going on, but in my own birth chart. And I was like, I don't believe in many things, but sometimes because I am alone, I need to hear something. And so I thought, gosh, but this is not human. This is corruption, an abuse, a mockery, insultive. So I don't want anyone having fantasies. This is a work that I want to give in a real context. Um, Influencers could never talk about it unless they role play. Okay. So the role play has to go through writing and just pictures and put some music. And I can. The thing is that it's interesting when people can get immersed and learn by their own. But it could take just 1 hour to explain, or they are a lot. There's a lot of me to give, and as much there is frustration. Frustration, because I know I can help make a better world when people learn to role play and interact to learn in a faster frequency, because you are not entering into the reasonable mind. You don't have to please your teacher. You don't have to be watching TV or reading a book. You are part of that book and that movie and that shared dream. I don't like to see people talking what I say when I'm not being paid. All right, because I have worked and studied for this. All right, I have created this as well from my own. So I don't want this to be the theme about narcissism or Megan's Harry's wife. It has nothing to. This is not the way to speak. I have nothing to do with Twitter. The only interesting thing I see in Twitter is people being creative and showing their work, doing mansions into villages. But for that, I'm not going to talk either, because there is a lot of systematic thing there that I have studied on that all my life. My father was killed trying to do a village, and I wanted to do also a village in the 500 acres we had. I tried for years, but my mother would be always, every time she would get a bad feeling, she would say, no nuts, for whatever, because she would feel superior by just stopping. So I grew up with a lot of patience with this mother of mine. Um, Learned to organize and work for her for 14 years. I would come from New York to take care when she would go to India of the oasis. Um, I was very selfless. So not because I am a good person, but being with the narcissist mother, she was really nice. Nobody could tell she was a narcissist, right? Only if you study psychiatry. And some therapists knew how to deal with her because they knew. But she worked on marketing all her life, and she's been always a very beautiful woman and caring and loving and and worried for our education. and always wanting the response back. She wanted to teach us to respond back. There was a lot of empty space waiting for what was there. So, thanks to her generation and the generation of freedoms that some got to enjoy, some to some extent, that you do it once every 3 months, once every 6 months, that's a pseudo freedom. It doesn't mean you're a free man, right? Have that very clear. Some people they say, "Oh yeah, I'm a free man. I can do whatever I want." Yeah, but how many times did you have sex in? Just put in 6 months. 2 times or what? Because if you have a girlfriend, you're loyal, or a wife, you have guaranteed anytime. And good quality, because supposedly it's true love. I mean, supposedly, because I don't know. I don't know people's capabilities. I don't think true love is being married also, because a marriage diminishes the person and they both become liars, constant liars, to keep that they had, which is not there anymore, because it cannot last. We get to evolve and then we have retainers, because if you evolve, the other one will be resented. So it will be try to take the best it can to be part of it, but at the same time, it's going to hold you back. And it's not sexual, this is in the spiritual realm. When people go for therapy, they cannot open up if they are go with a couple. So they ask them to go to different therapy groups, even for groups of couples, because they can see themselves. Everything is within you. That fear of moving beyond, because you cannot move beyond yourself with that. You cannot move with another, because then the relationship with us is, we're this, and there you go. That's it. Unconsciously, the person will always try to look for freedoms and then come back and betray his own self. He's not betraying anyone. He pretends later to, and women are more repressed to see themselves, because through many generations they need the protection of society and men, because they have children, because they have a period, because they get pregnant, because they're vulnerable. Yeah, it cannot exist if they have children. Yeah, they are dependable, and because of that they become vulnerable. So what's something that should be beautiful, that's being vulnerable. Yeah, for men and women, and children are very vulnerable, and that's very tender, like we could have in our old age if we get there, because longevity is supposed to be a gift, supposedly, to be the most beautiful awakening. You will see the beauty in those years. So it takes a lot of time to get this. So if you want to send me money for me to eat in PayPal by Sujani, SUJAANI at me.com in PayPal, or PayPal, Sujani. So there is also another ways like asking me, right? But if everybody wants to share the secret of pedophilia or abusing women, abusing people's intellectual rights, because that makes you special, because you've been invited to this circle. Yes, I am in this circle. I don't think it's of energy. Maybe I'm tricked. It's a plot from the Illuminati. Oh, let's talk about dreams and symbols. Yeah! Logos. Well, I'm making pillows. I'm making pillows for my daughter Debbie. So I, so I got into this mess because she gave me these pajamas, and I don't like it. So I cut them off to make these pillows with hearts for her. And now I have to sew it. On the other side, I cut these pants so she can turn it around, the hearts. Yeah. Um, except when she's feeling well and when she's not feeling well. When she's feeling well. So, and reason. There comes a time where you just are like in an abyss and there is only space there. There's only space where you just see these hearts there. You see these hearts within your room, and they're only pillows. It's just your mind turning them in round. You think this is good, this is bad, this is the side, this makes you feel good, this makes you feel bad, this must be right, this must be wrong. So this happens in the DNA as well. I'm glad that the scientists are studying the corrupted DNA, the one that doesn't exist. I mean, to some extent, there had to be some structure, but it's not easy to civilize animals. So, there you go. It has never been easy. So it's been the civilization on the colony, and how could we have known before that there are better ways? There could be better ways, but we're resistant. Yeah, because we don't want to be trapped. We don't want to be owned. We want to be in our domain. We don't want to know about the greater domain. That is not metaverse, all right? That's a stolen idea. So why did they like it? Because it's the infinite, it has infinite millions, infinite millions, infillions. It has infillions of money to come. But it's from the formula that I did, and it has more. So the work is not really there if people are playing these games, if the investment goes in wars, in these people that, because it's the only thing they've done all their life. They don't know better. They think that's the best thing. But that's not the best way to create democracy with communist countries that do not understand what is sharing. But they are not going to get, so give them a time to role play with. But they have the same mental illness that the white people in the West do. Yeah, because Chinese and Russian are also white. So it's kind of like, could I just go to Venezuela and dance? Make love, go to the beach, see the dangers in my face as they are. At least they are more original and real. And this is the end of the world. I don't want to be. I don't want to die with nuclear because I didn't have the courage to get out. So I have been kind of getting there to ask my family. So this ends. The situation ends. Because as the story goes, you can see that if they haven't paid me now before, you know, I sent it in October of the year 2020. I have sent it October 4th. I don't know when it got there, the package. So it was sent with a lot of work. So what happens? Bill Gates is always promoting himself as if he's a genius and talking about these things, putting his studio, going around the world. It was his wife's idea to, because she's Catholic, apostolic, to help the world, not him. His mother would do some charity thing, but she was more of a socialite, so it was a way to like on those times. If you want to be good with the good, so yeah, in a good way. So he's not that stupid. So that's why I sent it to him. Uh, he thinks he belongs to. So I could imagine what they're saying, that they have all this money and they belong to what they do, and these are just people who want to get from them, because that's what thieves do. They have to create lies, right? And you also have the right to take from others in this open source, right? Because now that's your illusion. So there it goes. Oh, I don't want people to talk like that to me. I won't be talked like that. Oh, well, let me translate. Well, I don't think we need any social worker at all, or places where you leave your children or your babies and your toddlers. Children should be with their mothers until they're 7 years old. And mothers should have an environment where they can work and do their things and help each other. Mothers. So we don't con- we don't have contact with any pervert, abuser, liar, because we have to serve, yeah, to be respected. Because we women not only have men against us, we have other women against us. They don't know it, but they put women against this woman to make them feel superior. Yeah, if you do this, yeah. So this has been eons, like this has been forever, right? Forever. So there you go. A stupid woman is more valuable for men as children. Not because of their innocence that it was stolen and they want to recover only. But because they're afraid of letting go to that which is beyond. They're afraid it's going to be a woman, but no, it's not woman. It's with woman beyond. So for a woman, it's very easy to surrender and to be vulnerable and to follow and to be patient and to even transform, transmute, forgive, have intuition, just bypass as if nothing is happening there, enter anywhere. Just like, yeah, because it looks like inoffensive. Yeah. Man are very easy to fool. So they become old and very ugly, and they never had true love. But I mean, true wild love, enlightening love, everlasting enlightenment. The love is just there. So you have better answers if you really want to conquer the world. Why do it in this way if you have better ways to do it, right? So it is sad, sad thing that we have to share this planet. What? I have to belong? Excuse me? I have my work, I have my percentage, my royalty for my work, and I'm going to give it, and it's going to work. And you're nothing. Yeah, I'm nothing as well, but you're nothing. I can go to the Chinese, I can go to the Russians, the Venezuelans, but the problem is that you won't unite. You white people are the problem. You are the ones who won't unite. If virtual reality is working from the half of the world, or let's say the 2/3, you're only 1/3, because Africa would never been to NATO. Yeah, no matter how many role players and students you inter-exchange, which was my idea as well. But this is not about owning ideas. This is about making uh, this heartbeat into reality. So people want to measure the mind and all this, but they don't measure the heartbeat, yeah, and the cerebellum behind. Which, so when you meditate, you become very aware, and that is a glimpse only to hear the heartbeat of the other when it's talking, it's breathing, its sounds, without reasoning too much. Where is it going so fast? And then it's like, and then it's like it's gonna lose a last breath, but it needs to keep on. And then don't call it anxiety. It's just maybe very excited and about to die, but it doesn't want to die because it wants to tell you something that's so revealing. It feels like it's gonna get naked. Maybe no, it's what you don't know, but it's just kind of there, right? So, and then you transcend the threshold, the sun goes down. Or maybe, who knows? It's a professional. It's not the first time. Maybe you think it was. His mother and father have been doing that. Their parents have been doing that. All their ancestors. So it's a transgenerational sound and act, and you are being fooled again. Yeah. So this one is for the water. I grew up and I always had the maidens. I miss them. I would tell Rita the that is not about having things, but having her makes me feel as a millionaire. That's what I would tell to Rita. I didn't learn to speak as this. Most of role players don't speak as I do. I've been always a poet since I was little because I have love for others. So that I would tell to my and we wouldn't call her our mate. We would call her Rita. We will help her as well. It was cute and it was hard. But well, my mother was the best, really, the she could ever be, and she's still alive. So we share this silence. I guess she took me to India. Thanks to her, I learned about meditation. Thanks to her, I learned about being a stop millionaire. Thanks to her, I learned like being in both. But what I want for my future generations is to learn what is property, what is credit, to give credit and to take credit, and if possible, to pass that along through the world where they can see others doing the same thing and teaching this and enjoying and role playing at the same time in virtual reality. Not just with fantasies, but getting to share from their work around the world within them. So it is very important to know that you want this voice and this story forever to last, be eternal. It's a story that I'm telling from my experience to their experience, from my creation, my parents' creations, and their friends, and every person they met and I met theirs. There's a culture that is not human but culture. Yeah, so you could never say a person is human and culture if he's talking bad about another, because it still has issues. It still is unaware of the world. It is good to make stories and drama, but there are. This is for values. The values to their values. Their values. You need a hammer. There you go. Have a hammer. Oh, a nail. How are you gonna get nails? I don't know. Don't you have a Chinese store here, or what? We can make nails. We have a lot of soil with iron, I guess, right? Things like that. So, what a wonderful world this could be if people can honor others' work. Yeah, I'm not saying to give me credit. I have a work. that you must honor. So it's not that I'm asking for you to honor me, but this work is only going to happen when the voice transcends through you. The voice of this work to pass. Once it's been passed, it is yours. But then you will be just there, like trying to get something. Yeah, let's copy this, clip that to get more. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Look, I don't talk about it in the Bible. I'm here in my private being hacked. Yes. For 1 year and 4 months, trying to get my work, virtual reality, which I studied for script writing. I went to the School of the Prince of Spain. I've been assistant of therapy with international therapists, psychologists, doctors, psychiatrists who left their career in order to prevent mental illness and sickness because they come along. Um, a lot of work that's still not within the academy, but does that really mean anything? No, I just want my money from what I have sent to Bill Gates. That's all I'm interested. The rest is I'm tired, it's bullshit. If, you know, look, Putin, you didn't stop the war, they're going to go and just the thing is that Russia has infinite human. So the Ukrainians have to wake up and start a conversation and split that part of the land. Eventually, I guess Russians will have to take more. So Ukrainians can understand, because they don't understand they're little. Now they will have to become smaller. They already got a part of land to become part of Europe, whatever you think that's better, okay? You have to know that you're dealing with people that are like Russians, because Ukrainians think and are as Russians, that they know European. The Romanians are like Russians. I have worked with them. They don't have any love or education for anyone. They are bullies. They like to attack for no reason, and they send people to attack because they don't want to recycle. Yeah, you have to call the head office and say, no, I want to recycle. Yeah, they are. No, but it's in the book. You can be the nicest person in this world. And there you go, a Russian. Ignorant, dry, no emotions, no heart, like no empathy. Look at all these people wishing war and death in Russia. Because just to imagine, they have killed the people who gave them work. Just to imagine that. Like the Venezuelans that killed my father. He provided them a village and jobs 10 times cheaper than what the land costs with no entrance. So that was a big mistake, and this is why I have created what I have created, because my mind had been always trying to find answers. How could have this been avoided? Instead of, I didn't care about the killer. Well, I'm gonna go for a poor, low class killer who just came out of the jungle. Like, it's just like, yeah. Like if I am the CIA, no, or just the police there, or just resented person in court. Yeah, you go suffer in jail. No, I don't. It's like, but of course it does bother me, and nobody's gonna bring my father back. So, when I was 25 and I was with my daughter in New York City while writing a script, I created this so people know the credit that they're paying and how much it takes to build your house, and how many years will it take, so you have that compromise and not have to kill the person that gave you the power. Because without that, you don't have anything but what you already have. Because we also need to learn. We need to learn. And those who were privileged need to come down and work 3 years with poor people, work with middle class people. I mean, at least they get a glimpse, but it can get to rotate. You can always enjoy the glamour, the opulence. Yeah, of course. I wish to be always in that state, but still, I just need to go out and get into the wild side, right? Not so I get myself killed, but the countries who would be prepared and civilized and say, okay, we like to have friends come to visit us, not tourists like in Ibiza. That's disgusting. Ugh, disgusting. All this white trash there, pretending to be superior. And that they own Ibiza. It's like, oh my god, they get entitled everywhere they go. It's incredible. Oh, that is mine. That is me because I'm superior everywhere they go. Oh, because I'm white. Yes, I'm sorry for you. I have to have compassion for you. Like, I have more education than you do. We were dancing here forever. You didn't even know how to dance. You didn't know what crazy is. Dance like crazy. I mean, I have to take so many drugs and alcohol. Think they're glamorous. They don't even know what is glamour. They don't even have the luxury of going nasty naturally. Not enough time to swim naked in the sea. Like, the thing I really appreciate that I would give myself to that. No, I would never change myself for that. Have that certain till my last breath. Never. Never. And it's not that I'm a lazy person, but I am more productive to get some clues. Everyone is good for something, so this is my nature. I don't want people to go to Ibiza as they do. I would love people from Ibiza to enjoy Ibiza. Whereas these people should go somewhere else. Study also. Eat less pig. Incredible. I mean, I love sausages once every 6 months, but not like every day. I don't have anything to say. It was nice to see Rishi Sunak. They're sharing good ideas with friends. I think they're very excited. They look so excited. Also, they're young, so they're totally excited. Totally young. Makes me feel like a pervert when I see young people so happy. Well, shake it off, shake it off. So, well, just really, I don't know why I always felt like I was a pervert, but I was not. It's nothing wrong with you. It's nothing wrong. It's okay. You know, when I was virgin in the boarding school, I was 13. I liked this boy who had red hair. Uh, I really liked him, but he was maybe like 10, yeah, and he had this long hair, and he was super naughty. And teachers would speak about him, the adults, and his mother and his father, and because he was very naughty, playful, and they thought that they would talk bad about him all the time. So I knew, because they would do that about me in school. The teachers would always talk about me, and I didn't like that. So I would play with him a lot to let him feel understood. Cannot make my sounds apart. Understood that he was so joyful and always playing. He wanted to laugh and have fun. So he was naughty, but and I fell in love with him. And I was like, "Oh my god, I'm a pervert. I'm a pedophile." I thought I have the mind of a pedophile. And I thought, wait, but you're not an adult yet. Those were my thoughts. I was 13, nearly 14. I remember there in Devon, in the boarding school here in England. So I would play with him in a deductive way. So he would get to know the boundaries, because you learn that with sports. I was the best one in basketball with the boys. I was among the best 5 boys from 3 classes. We would play with the ability to fusion in one synergy. We would be just running all like we are. So it was in that taken in that, because the playfulness gets sometimes. So I would always see the limit there, and I would say, "Ah, there, ah," and then he would laugh again and go in the stairs, like everywhere, right? And I was the best with resistance and skipping. So that's a talent that I have. You're born with certain talents, and your brain might act as well in this way. When you observe how a child is good at sports, yeah, not everyone has the same abilities. We can learn everything, but we have certain abilities that are not only physical, could be also mental. Some people cannot flip their stories or skip. They get fixated. I'm this for tired. Anyways, so I wanted to talk about that. There is love everywhere, and there are boundaries. Yeah, there are boundaries. And in these games, we teach these steps and boundaries. So, in that storytelling as well, humanity will make a lot of money once they start to feel celebrative in these wars, and it could be better that it starts to open through dialogue. Eventually, it's gonna open. So why not start before? Yeah, the Chinese television is talking with Spanish television, with American, with English, German. They just speak in English also. Like, give me a break. All these translators. It's really. You really want to conquer, because that's how China is moving, and you don't see it. The more you go old style with what you think is good, the more they're taking over. All right. The more stupid you are with the old style, which is okay, just keep that as it is, because it's tradition. Yeah, to have war, to do that way, to prepare to trigger. Yeah, let's trigger, because we're better. We're better. They lose control so easily. They will just go there into Taiwan the same way that Russia did. 2020 until they go crazy and they just go take over. And then we blame them because they did it. Yeah. And then we talk about their soil. They have the right to protect their soil because they were born there. Let's make more stories. Let's make more stories. Yeah. With people's blood. Let's read it with. Do you have that red ink there? Yeah, stamp it. Stamp it with the red ink. Yeah. What was his name? Well, doesn't matter. It's just a stamp. Yeah, so cool. Where you get that? Well, is Japanese. I don't understand why the Japanese empire is so small, and China doesn't have an empire anymore. Why? Because they killed them. Yeah, they killed the Chinese emperors. All that magic is gone. The monks, the mysticism, the mystery, the beauty. It's just go, 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 millions. Go, go. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah, you're gonna speak Spanish. You go to Spain, you're gonna speak this language, go there, and we're gonna make this channel. There is not a global understanding. You don't even know who you are. You were chosen because you are a good follower. But that does not mean you are a seeker. It could go faster. That rage, it doesn't have to be therapeutic. People have to put their traumas out, do their meditation, sports out. You do sports, or do a little bit of dancing, so you go into a level of gentleness. That is not because you've been indoctrinated. That's based on fear. So is chronomatic, chronom, and it can work well, but you have lost the essence and the beauty. Needs to be recovered. So we can deal with China and Russia, and that is democracy, and that's what you do when the best of the artists try to make it to the king, to the emperor, even your enemies, because there is a story. There are stories going on. What happens is that communism will happen when these synergy stories start to fusion, when we start to get together, molding this politically as well and respecting as well. There are settings for each one. As chaotic as a scrambled egg it could be, you just step back and see your differences, what your settings are, what you will allow for your people, what not. and simplify yourself and understand that you have kill your ancestors kill the beauty, and we still need to know what is communism, which has never existed. Eventually it will happen, eventually in 300 years, or for those who have got to a level of so much richness that it will be healthy to go out gardening. It won't be look like if you are a peasant. To love your children and care for your children, you won't look as if you are a lowless class. In the contrary, there's nothing more beautiful than being with your children, not all the time. Yeah, women also need to be with adults. So, or alone to read or to do whatever. So I cannot talk about role play and virtual reality because that's why I talk a lot of these things. Hopefully, it juxtaposes in between our skins so we can come together in this world for peace and bring this violence into the gym, sports, stories, not in Twitter. I mean, it is one thing is to be funny, but even if you're trying to be funny, you will always find out the well, it's better to be wrong 2 times out of 10 jokes and produce 8 jokes that are good than none would be afraid to be judged for by these 2 jokes. So then that's the creator is always going to be judged sometime, but then you keep creating. Yeah. And then you just mold it up and fix it. And then, oh, no, well, I was wrong now, this, that, because of this and that and that. So some comedians become very bitter and it's not funny anymore. Like the one that Will Smith slapped him. So, well, I guess they're doing a catharsis for their collective. But I don't think anyone was a slave. I think everyone had to work really hard as slaves. All right. The thing is that Europe had millennials of slavery. So suddenly it was work. Yeah. It was forced work. So the difference is that they took them from the jungle and they were forced. So so we were forced as well. There was no other choice. That's the only difference. So there were chains. Well, in Europe, wherever you would go, if you even if you want to escape, you would just fall down into another person who would give you a job and treat you as bad. So as bad what? Just food and shelter. So uh that that stories and voices that are passing from generation to generation. So one has to become aware, right? I have my own stories of, for example, abandonment. You can see that from the lowest class to the highest class, abandonment. And you can also have both in one lifetime. So neglect, you could be taking care a lot and have a lot of attention, but there is something cold and distant. So there were also other generations as well. My children might have found freedom loving others, and one has to bring the best out of everyone, not just your mother and father. because probably everyone just by itself has so many mistakes. So if children learn to pick the best from other mentors, right, in a society where there are no pedophiles and violence, yeah, because there is another theory that children should never be allowed with men alone. This is said by many women from around the world. Okay, because men don't associate love. When they love, they relate everything with their dick, like white people relate everything with superiority, that they're the best. Yeah, everything they do is because black people relate also everything because they're black. Yeah, so anything there is love, they relate it with their dick. So I guess that's why they work only with men, so they don't have a heart on. They love each other, as they still have that, but they don't really are into it. Yeah. So that is there is not a transcendence as well that can voice throughout, not just through your little instrument that is guitar, but through the whole opera house. And when the audience is most silent is when the players can play better because they are more in tune. People don't honor silence, the depths of different qualities of silence as well. I could be, I have been meditating 4 hours in silence. I used to be able to sit down 4 hours in silence in the same position of a lotus flower. I was capable to open my legs, and every time I would try to sit more still. And there was a lot of love for doing so. In India, in 1 hour would be like 10 minutes, would pass so quickly just to be still. So I know very well when somebody wants to have fantasy, they want to come into a dream world, they want to make me believe things. And that is auto staging in role play. That's one of the many variants I have created. So in meditation as well, you're auto staging. I have not given a step or any play to get there. So what is that you want? Because this is what happens. You then go back to what is yours, what you think to be. Because it's not working, right? It is not working. You're going to continue doing the same thing, and something is not right. So it doesn't make me happy to see people showing off that I don't have my food, that I'm not being paid for my work, and that they're using my intellectual rights and they're hacking me. So if I'm talking, it's because I want this to be over at the staging. It's hacking as well as raping. It's auto staging. So in storyline, it's also because you have auto stage with Ukraine, and that's how it came out of Russia. So they have been manipulated, and they know that they give into that auto stage. So what you think that is influence, people in the world know what you do and who you are. All right? It's not like before. So you have to not change quickly, but advance quickly. Update, upgrade quickly. Yeah, you're not stepping because you normally like to out to stage on others, right? That is the way of the thief. But look, a thief has to be very silent to enter, isn't it? Don't ever you think that you're going to manipulate minds with me or make anyone believe. People are not stupid. This is the problem with you, not with people. Yeah? That they're being fake is because you are worth it to be fake back. Hmm? That they want to belong? Not really. You can see that because they're honest. As nice they try to be. Because you have needs and they have needs. So this is this world, and in the reality, what? What is that voice within that wants to be listened? Because when I ask, who is your boss? Yeah, it sounds as if I am the boss when I ask that. Because I realize you want to give everything away and just listen to take and then flip again and go back to to those who maintain you, and you keep the show running as if you are that. So I'm asking about your inner authority because this is a problem right now with democracy and internet, with votes and likes and followers, because you might have so many million followers, but doesn't mean that you have the 7 billion people in this world. In your illusion, I know this because it happens in role play. In your illusion, you think you have all this power, but in reality, they're just they're just there because they want to be rich, or they like to. They're suckers, right? And so that's it. That's what you got. But it's not the reality beyond. That's why it's so important to transcend and, and, and see beyond. And there is no better business than God. God, God means that. God means the consciousness that is within all of us to see each other as one in that very second. So role play gives you that. But you're not gonna go there to Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates and pretend that H.D. Tudor is gonna give you the answer, because they don't have it. They never had it. None of them. Everyone can do this, and it will be easier if I could just. I don't want politicians to do with this. I would only want psychiatrists, Jordan Peterson. I don't want psychologists because they are only analyze what happens with the psychiatrists, like Dr. Grande. They study chemistry, they study the body, chemistry for the pharmaceutics, and what's missing, what would it take, this drug, this other. It has a lot to do. And they study the characteristics of all these mental illness, which are also related for character traits. So I had to study the human body, not as a doctor, but as a assistant of therapy. I never wanted to be a therapist with been assistant of therapy for 14 years. Um, it is a strong contribution to virtual reality. What it needs doctors to talk about and study this, thanks to Bill Gates, who have connection with the government, because it needs to be studied. It can enhance your intelligence as much it can to some people, like for example Kate the Fake. Yeah, Kate the Fake was born in a middle class family who were always poor, and suddenly they're middle class, and suddenly now she's married to the Prince of England, right? So let's say that she's a borderline, but nobody knows because all the kingdom hides it. Yeah, and she's threatening Prince William constantly that if he leaves her, the same is going to happen to him that what happened to Charles. So she uses the church and the matrimony to harass him because he's going with a lot of women with her. The what is true love, because so he's under the influence of a borderline. He's walking on eggshells when she's there, and he's always making her think that she's in control so she doesn't flip out. Yeah, and he thinks to do whatever he wants, and she's always harassing him with a bad face or this and that, or and she has tried to put him, as he's the mentally ill, a narcissist, with his family. And I can tell you that, and I can assure you that this woman has put him down because everyone needs to support her, because thanks to her that she's so grounded, it can help William. That much she has threatened the Prince of England, this borderline. And then she goes there and smiles because she is protected by all the kingdom to do that. And she didn't like the girlfriend of Harry because she was the only one. So she has this paranoia that they're going to do something bad about her, that they're going to take over her power. And then these are paranoias and delusions of the borderline personality disorder. And they serve very well, and they're very needy, and they don't know who they are. So, for example, that can destroy a kingdom, right? If you don't have people that are wise enough to protect the royal family, the true royal family, who are born with a pedigree to take care of the kingdom. Yeah, because this is something that's happening. This is a phenomenon that is happening now for the first time. Normally, people are groomed for that. Yeah. For example, you see a German Shepherd standing; it's standing by itself like that. Nobody told the German Shepherd to stand like that with one foot back and the tail like that down. Yeah, that's a pedigree German Shepherd. So you have these qualities that are being distorted. Camilla is not born as the royal also. Lady D, they maybe in the neighborhood, yes, but it's not uh, a natural love. Yeah, come maybe from past life. I mean, of course, it would be easy to fall in love with when Charles coming to her and like, and again, I mean, so charming like that. Of course, how could you say no? But still, with the press and all this going on, like it has never existed before, all this violence, and she so much patience. So I mean, I don't want to go into imagining their behind the talents of their private life, but I could bring it on and make up stories. But all these things are new. So in virtual reality, if you're giving this power of imagination, a person can go totally crazy as well. Yeah, I have seen some people believing they are the character. Yeah, for example, Kate the Fake could ruin not only a kingdom, but cause United Kingdom to split and to lose the parts of the Commonwealth. Americans would have hated United Kingdom more. That's why they're Americans, because they're free. That's why they walk off from the colony. That's what makes America better. Better. All right. So the thing is that you will give them power and they will abuse because they don't know how to use this power. Yes. If you are, for example, if you have the skills of being a good lover, yeah, you can bring anyone to your level of love making because you have those skills, right? Whatever you are beautiful or not, or make yourself beautiful because everyone is beautiful. You take care of that, right? Well, and if you're a pervert, more. But what I mean is that if you don't have that quality, you will abuse, you will rape because you don't know how to relate. You don't know all these movements. You don't know your sensors. Yeah, your abilities to talk in between, to perceive from the distance, to prepare a story script, to think and not think, to allow yourself to. So, all these terrains as well that have been maybe given through ancestors, maybe being in jail for what people believe for many generations as well, because of the fear of not belonging, because of the fear of not being prosperous, because of the fear of being cast out. So all these are at the same time judge others and keep yourself right with the righteous. But at the same time, you would not advance if you're invited to monitor the unknown. Yeah, the scientists do, the spiritual people do, and have that notion that we don't know. There's some things that we don't know, and this happens when we meet another. Yeah, and we create a relation there. So if it's you will teach that person, you will surprise that person, you will get to see if that person likes you or not. So you will learn to love yourself in the process, I guess. It should be that you know to love yourself already by everything you do and you are, and that was given to you just to love continuously. Now you are a lover of eternity, then you love to study, you love to teach, but you are invited to analyze and help to write a part in history that is going to help humanity to become a higher race. Yeah. Not only that it's living in heaven already, because it's perfect as it is. Yeah, it's gracious. It doesn't do evil to other. We know who's evil. Yes, you're evil. Hi, borderline. You can cross over. It's okay. Don't worry. Yeah. You don't have to be there in the border all the time. flipping, threatening to flip. Ah, because eventually that happens if you continue with that. So we all have these traits as well. We can explore them because we always met somebody or we had a relation with this, or maybe we like to think what it is. And is one of the highest skill besides meditations. The meditations, the could be as chanting in your church. Some people need to reach enlightenment through their own religion because it has harvest away, and you need to be loyal to your own beliefs. There will become a moment where it explodes. You cannot go from this religion to another and that. You have you need your master to fulfill you. This relation with each religion has its own a path of enlightenment. This is why it's been very important for each religion to take care of its own, because they're still developing to reach that. By cutting that off, it is not good for the spiritual path. Yeah? Unless the person has walked off consciously by its own, because it has still it's important to maintain your faith in the material world. You don't need to lose everything in order to reach an understanding. Yeah. It's very beautiful to travel and see the world. It would be beautiful that one day we can travel with only green energy, and at least 30% in this lifetime is ready to give as role players and have learned what is credit in this lifetime. And the models have been generated. What is generated is like they have been evangelized. Because the models will adapt to each culture. Each culture, each design, each construct, each cover, each form, design, architecture, all that will be put in the box there to, yeah. But you don't need to go there with a board, but kind of like having that idea and then put it there. So to have a stock where you can make it easier for others. But they need to learn, teach and learn, and role play as well in a fantasy world. And no, this is fantasy, this is reality, this is boundaries. Yeah. I have so much right now. This is happening the same time and the same. And while you think that you are teaching role players in Europe and you're going to exchange students from the Commonwealth in Europe and America and Canada, well, China too is starting to say that they're changing students from India to China, then African to blah blah blah. All right, so let's try to be a little more being a thief, copying is being dissonant. Yeah. So this is not rippling. This needs to synchronize, to get in sync. Yeah. So this is not a world order as you think it is in the white world, flat assholes, right? Men and women. I'm sick of seeing white men in platforms, tired, trying to look for something else that could be other cultures or women. I'm normally very loyal to what I like, so I do search a lot. I do search. I will have to abort what I was doing this year to study a country each month, but I don't have the energy just to think that I have to get food. That they have returned this from my children. I have sent these boxes. They have returned it again. They have returned it again because all these little problems because I'm dealing with perverts who think to be superior but don't know how to relate at all because they are in their disassociated thieving world because they don't have creativity or divine of their own. You don't want to be insulted. Well, you took it. You wouldn't feel insulted if you know you are not that. If I call you an elephant, you feel hurt? Because is it bad if you're an elephant? But you know you're not an elephant. So why would you? You know you're an asshole, don't you? Nobody likes to be talked like that. I don't like to be treated like this either. Such a beautiful life. Really. Such a beautiful life to have invested on this. Then stop hacking me. Stop copying me. Tissue of reality. I made that word up. Tissue of reality fabric because that's my work. So I'm not in open source. I'm asking for my percentage on my money. I don't want any politician to be involved with virtual reality. Zuckerberg and metaverse is not the multiverse of characters. Each character is unique in each universe unless they make different laws in another universe, which each universe has different verses, groups. So the span of history, the timeline of history, and the heavens and the hells of every mythology, which are emotions, and that transgenerational sound, which could be as harmonious, communicative, or traumatic as an understanding and relation, because there is a story there through creation and destruction, sickness and health, of getting together and making children, and finding our form of death is very meaningful. How our families die is very meaningful. It tells a story already. When, how. So just like that. These are symphonies and stories that go across the pattern of a universe within the multi-universe where all these verses are. So one of the laws that's already been shared is that you cannot copy characters because then it breaks. The stories break. It itches. So well, I'm very frustrated, and this is every day lately. Um, I think that if I continue in this journey, I'm going to become sick because I don't want to filter or deal with in this way. So I know some people must think I'm a piece of shit and I deserve this because that's the way uh, they need to think. When people steal or kill, they need to think in these ways. Otherwise, they would never do it. They need to think in these ways. Otherwise, they would never do it. And they have to pat their shoulders. You see them in the pipeline. Why do they come with these stories? Because they need to believe themselves. They know the public cannot do anything. They cannot do anything about the corruption, the lies, the murder, the genocides, the double story, the backstabbing, the thievery, the blood sucking. Yeah, they will use your stories for their behalf. No, you don't need to translate me because I'm speaking English very well. Yes, that you don't like it how it sounds. That is how it sounds to you. Because I am not a sucker of yours. Yeah. So the point is that we don't want suckers. We want people that is intelligent and can work better for us as we work for them. Yes. And you're part of all this as well. Perhaps you're the greatest suckers of all. That's why you have that position in power, nor less. So don't think yourselves to be that important when you smile like that. Because you still need others to believe, because you need to believe that in your mind, because with that belief you will be capable of doing more and genocides and continue and continue and continue, because you're doing it for a greater good, because something is better. That's the whole purpose of mental delusion, to cover that up. But people know, so you don't need to tell that story. People know, no matter what story you make up. This is not like the days of yesterday, and I can say that again and again. 300 more days, 360 more days. You want me to tell you the same story? You're so smart. I thought you were superior of me. Because, if you like me to tell you the same story again and again, perhaps you're not that, like, something lacks there that is not moving. Yeah. So children don't need to be with children's babies. I was harassed that they would take my baby away if I didn't take it to the kindergarten. When I was paying my rent, I was working. I had my family. Yeah. And I had to maintain my husband who has had a car accident. My baby, my toddler. I was threatened by social workers. Well, they give one check of 120 euros. I pay my rent, my food, everything. But Canadian husband couldn't even get help because he's Canadian, couldn't get his papers right. So it's a dark world. They were threatening me. My baby of 6 months, I had to leave it alone when he's better with me. I was harassed by social workers in Spain that they would take my baby away if I don't take it to a kindergarten with 6 months because I had to work. They said, and I said, I already work. I pay my rent. You don't pay my rent. Yeah. Because my husband had a car accident, I would have to deal with this as well. 120. Not only he had an accident, there were other things as well before he had an accident. So um, this has been my life to tell you that mothers don't need social workers or any of your business. Children need to be with their mothers, and mothers can work together and do their things together. Yeah, and whoever who wants to work with them. But if you want to corrupt women and rape children, keep doing what you do, because that's what you're harvesting with all these perverts in power, where you have a lot, especially with the Mormons of Canada, American, England, the pedophiles, which is normal for them within doors. It's normal with their daughters and children, right? Thanks to all the people that report and speak, that have done therapy, that have come together, but in therapy groups is 30%, and the ones who don't come are still. So virtual reality can have the potential as good as bad. Some people can get stuck in character and do bad to themselves and anything that is related to them. So could be catastrophic. Because certain things don't rule the world or your life. When you really come to terms, well, you will do this in behalf to maintain the world business. You will do this in behalf to keep the story, to make scandal, but at the same time, yeah, keep your children healthy minded. Imagine your children grow up knowing all these scandals, and now they see how the world were seeing them when they were little, while their families were doing that, or they were going through that. That's traumatic to put on that perspective, that all the world was looking at you like this, while this was happening, and Kate the Fake was doing this, William was doing that, Prince Harry was, and Meghan, whatever. So they did it purposely so people listen. It's a propaganda. So they have the power, they can do it. Anyways, it doesn't matter. The thing is that it happens the same if you're using this for evolving. Yes. Are you using this for evolving? So we need doctors, scientists, because they are movements and the relations through all the natures are about that relation. So that's within all the sciences and the movement. Uh, um, the dictionary of role play, which I lost my dictionary of script writing, but we already have a dictionary. So you're not going to become, if you are mature, if you have matured, if you have not integrated your mother and father within you, but you have some decent parents, yeah, that you were not raped from your father, this is, and think you're better than your mother or things like that. All these are disturbances. So Kate needs to always protect herself because she's being raped by her father. So there goes the border personality that she has because she was not protected. They say that they hate mother and woman more than the father because it didn't protect them when they were, you have betrayed me. So it's a very bad relationship normally with the mother because it didn't protect. And the mother consciously and unconsciously, because it's gaslighted herself, they want to recover that relation and dominate, but they're not evolved as much as to understand where this comes. And this mechanism can repeat and infect others because it is a sickness, right? It is a sickness. Not only the husband, but the children and even a kingdom can go down the rail just because of what happening within. Hmm? Not out, but within. You could die because of outside or also within. But this comes from your family behaviors. And why would you need to behave survival if you have all the money and power in the world? So it doesn't matter how much you redirect all this. This is not good for the king and the kingdom. So when I'm gonna start to talk next week about walls, I wish to separate myself from everything that doesn't belong to me as such. In the same way, I don't want to represent myself with that because it's supporting something that is not what I came for. Okay? I do not have to host in my existence and living that at all. And that's what's the difference between one side of the wall and the other. That's the difference between you and me. And these orders have to be respected from the king. Leave him alone, man. Like, what is all this? Camila knows very well how to talk in silence. I just don't want to see her more like she's like in a cave with these hats, like caving her face, and the hair also caving her, and the king also walks like his cave, like protecting themselves and hidden, but at the same time they're happy, they're showing all this. So um s- I was just thinking to just disconnect from all this and let my mind and people be whatever they want to be. If they want to be in a cave, or they want to come out and just be beautiful as they are, be straight, be, exercise with their, because if they have thought that after they are crowned they're going to be straight or they're going to be themselves, then that is something that has to start right now and should have been always in that way. But the monarchy has suffered a lot with the times of the communism. It's been always like this should never happen, really, but we're transitioning. So I really hope in the future generations, the future kings and princes don't have to go through all this multimedia and all this fanfare and just enjoy their lives because they don't have to prove anything. They are kings and that's it. That's unchangeable. Nobody's say. There's no democracy here or votes if you like it or not, right? We celebrate this and that's it. What do they want to do? They know what to do and they might not, whatever. It's not your say. So hopefully, because this I don't wish this for me, for anyone. I knew this was gonna come, like, cause I'm not a storyteller. I can see things coming by you diagnose, and is this is what's gonna come, right? Then you have to bring it on. And how is this person going to see it? Yeah, because that's another problem. Without rejecting you because you've seen it and they haven't seen it. Prognostic, and you don't have these titles or this, look, I am an astronomer and I have this machine to look far in the stars. You have to make them think so they can see it themselves without you telling them what it is. But kind of like they find it out. No, because you told them to find it out. So takes a lot of, not imagination, but you gotta like really stand out. Forget even who you are for a moment to see the whole picture and the elements there that will drive the motor to function toward that direction. Now, not from your own accords, from its own accords, but everyone. This is why this war is going to stop. Not because you are better or superior. Yeah, you can think you are. That's okay. Nobody's against that. We know that already. That you think that you are superior. It's fine. You can carry that story forever if you want. It makes you ugly. From the other side, it makes you repugnant, like nauseous. You could just be having. You could not even eat that. Really, like, I don't buy that story, but we know it's not. Like, yeah, kissable or that you want to hug that. It's like allergy. Anything that is like. So, well, white people, Chinese, all these white people need to learn what is to relate. Yeah, but not theater, because they go theater, they go read, but then they go there hide again. Reading and all this is for hiding. They're not really real. Right? Yeah, 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 yeah. All this program and yes, 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 yes. So It's been learned, but it's not related. Yeah. If you really need a translation, you need a translation for that. I can translate that. I don't think you understood what I'm talking about here. But the evil that is in government is the evil that you work for, because you would shake hands with pedophiles to keep your job. Hmm? Gaslight lady? Hmm? I don't think that's gonna work in that way. It shouldn't work in that way. It should never work in that way. Everyone has their own space to do whatever they want. People can keep your jobs and positions. This is tiring for me. So it seems like another person could do this word of the week for me and continue. I really wish to finish this. I don't want to do this. Uh, this is martyrium only because I'm Christian. I believe God exists. To carry the cross. So, because I know how good it is to be free, but with the power to carry values, yeah, to carry values, not just from celestial sources. We're going to go up the hill in paradise and go in rockets into other planets and rare materials. Yeah. Well, is that the third part of the Bible? Did I make that story up? Well, look, I think Dante was aware of NASA and astrology, like all these astro planetary, how you call that, multiplanetary, multi celestials. You have these people to do this. You have these people to do that. You have this to do this. Don't fuck around with mothers and children. Leave them alone. All right. If you want to be the father, fine. If they welcome you to fuck, yeah, just go fuck around and just get lost if you want. You're not needed. But I don't think women need violence, abuse, lies because they have children and toddlers. They cannot defend themselves because it's not only economically; it's also the pseudo marriage where women will not want to, like, if you're aware you would never want to be with any man of this kind. And Les is an incel who's virgin and will be with you. Yeah. But man has taken advantage of women and female liberation to go and fuck around as much as they can. And they only get married because they have to have children. Or they have property, their wife has property. It's a biological attraction to procreate, the dream. So it's fine to carry the voice. Now, if you're really truly in love, yeah, and not just from reason, but you've been attracted from, if that's true, yeah, that your wife likes to be a slave of yours and be modest, it's great. I mean, knowing that she has the freedom to choose for that, that's great. It's great. I think it can be beautiful if a woman truly wants to surrender. Yeah. I mean, I would never wish to have a stupid woman to surrender to me. That's for sure. So woman had to pretend to be stupid in order to maintain a relationship. And it is sad to see the resentment they have, even if they sound like they are so nice. So nobody deserves to have these problems, all these problems, all right? Social workers could do other jobs, but women deserve their space, and men need to mature. People need to learn tantra to mature, to mature, to mature. There is so much to role play with, to understand all these mechanisms that we could imagine. And then in reality, we become simpler and simpler and simpler. Yeah? And you would like to surrender to a man because you admire him. But if there is no one to admire, it's like, oh man, it's like, look, we all have mistakes, but some things are unforgivable, really. So find your way. I have mine. Bye. To voice.